What's up, guys and goddesses? My name is Paris Khalees. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we begin, I gotta light my incense. Okay. Smell up more like barbecue this light. My daughter is playing in the other room on her mat. So I'm trying to hurry up and make this video because earlier I was supposed to make it, but I had some stuff to do and get situated. So I used that time while she was napping to do that, and then I decided, okay, let me just make the video now. Okay, so I've been kind of in like a little slump of like what I wanted to exactly post on my channel and exactly like what I want to talk about, because there's a lot of things I could necessarily talk about on my channel, but like at times I kind of, since I experienced it or just experienced it personally and I already kind of talked about it to myself at times lately, I've just been feeling like not wanting to repeat certain things or just constantly repeat certain stuff, and also kind of trying to figure out something to post every like blue moon is sometimes I mainly got my mind right now. I've been on like work and just my daughter and just preparing myself to the point where I kind of need to also find time to focus mainly on my creativity and just things that could inspire me to want to post certain things. But I did decide today, and I came up with the idea to just do like basic Q&A questions to kind of keep up with like what's been going on with me personally, or just kind of get to know me a little bit more on my channel as well. I think I did have a Q&A video. I don't know if it's still up because my channel did get hacked, if you do know, and some of my videos did get deleted, and I don't know if the one I did have that was kind of just me talking, I believe that one got deleted because I did not see it on there. Yeah, sadly it's deleted, but I did take time out that video too, but that was months ago. So, but yes, new things, new beginnings, no what you call yeah, I just let that go. So I guess that's just kind of showing like your attachment to certain things, having to let go of certain things. But yes, so yes, let's just hop straight into it. I basically pulled a couple of random questions that I thought was interesting, and just kind of some questions I kind of came up with off my head, but questions that kind of at least get to know me a little bit better and kind of just get the vibe of who I am and what I kind of, how I think maybe, and like it might change later on, of course, for me personally, but yeah. So, why my channel name? I did talk about this on my previous video that I believe got deleted, but the reason I have this channel name, Paris Khalees, is just my first and middle name, and I really like, you know, them together as the name, so I said might as well keep it. It's my first and middle name, and I always use that on mainly my social media, so I said might as well keep it. I don't know if I'll ever change it in the near future. Might, who knows? But that's mainly the name that I go by, because it's one, it's my name, and then two, it's easier to just go by on my channel, and I just like the, I guess the feel of it. I don't know. I guess I just said a little bit about me. I am 21. I'm also a mom. I'm a young mom. I'm a girl mom of my daughter Soul, which you more likely know because I do talk about my pregnancy on my channel. I did have a video where I was doing her baby clothes, and sadly that one got deleted too when my channel got hacked. I'm really sad about that because I liked that when I first it kind of gave me like a feel of how I was then. I only have like a little clips, like 2 clips of it that's really small instead of the full long video. So that one I had deleted because it was causing so much storage back when I made it. So when my channel got hacked, it's just gone. So, but yes, I am a girl mom, and I am 21 years young. Yeah, my daughter's name is Soul, and I am currently about 8 months postpartum. Well, 7 to 8 months, not 8 months yet, but she's about 8 months. So yes, I don't really put her on camera. I don't know, maybe if I will in the near future or not. I'm not sure. Whenever I feel comfortable, if I ever do feel comfortable enough to do that, either way it goes, you will see me on camera either way. But I have to see how I feel about it in the near future. Because when I first had her, like when I was pregnant, I was always thinking like maybe I should make videos with her in the videos. And then when I had her, I just wasn't feeling it. Especially when I first had her, like newborn, I really wasn't feeling putting her on the camera like that. I guess it might be just a mom protection thing, or just how I feel maybe internally about it. At that time, I wasn't very much comfortable with it. I've kind of been having feelings of being a little bit more comfortable now that she's a little bit more up and active, but I'm still like, you know, deciding if I do want to put her on camera or not. So yes. My favorite colors, I like some colors I've been liking lately, been like purple. Sometimes I like blue, not as always, but yeah, I guess I say purple, maybe blue, green, maybe like a certain like sunset yellow, orange kind of color. But yes, mainly my favorite color is purple. So yes. My favorite animals, I like turtles. I think turtles are my favorite animal. I do like sloths. Let's see. I couldn't, like, when I was thinking about this question earlier, I couldn't really think of like all the animals and why. Really, the main question it was, what animal would you be? And I really don't want to be an animal because a lot of them be getting eaten and stuff, and I don't know about being no animal, but yeah. Let's just skip that for now. But one of my favorite animals is turtles. What is something you could talk about for hours? I could talk about, it's 2 things. I could talk about my daughter, my pregnancy, and I could also talk about my conscious journey and kind of like my experience and I guess my spiritual awakening. I could talk about that for hours, never ending, because there's so many layers and depths to it. Even now I'm continuing life and keep going in life, whatever, there's so many layers and depths to it. Things that I still don't even have to fully grasp, but also pregnancy as well. I could talk about pregnancy and my daughter all the time, basically. Yeah, these are some of the questions that I searched up too, kind of just to get like questions to ask, cause like get me out that slump. What is something you are really good at without having to formally train or have much practice? I did do cheer in high school. Also, not high school. Well, I did like my 9th grade year, and I did cheer and gymnastics and stuff when I was from 2nd grade all the way up to about middle school, basically. Where I was a flyer, I did competitive cheer. I was on the school team and I was on the competitive team as well. Outside of school, before I was on the school team, that kind of gave me experience in that. So I guess maybe that, but I had training in that, so I can't really say that much in that one. I can't say the things that I haven't had training in. I do like slightly believe I could be good at basketball if I really like practice. I know like I have good aim, so I feel like maybe I could be good at basketball if I like kind of practiced a little bit, maybe if I actually got into it. art, I can draw. I'm not the best at, I would say, drawing off the head like that. But if I see something and I like really in the mood to draw and I see it, I can draw it exactly, or at least close to about exactly how it looks. And crocheting. I just started crocheting and stuff, and I feel like I'm caught on pretty fast. It took me about a day when I first started, like around last year, to like fully get it, because it was like I kept doing it and I got it, but it was like I got it in my head. It just had to come, had to display it basically. And it's kind of like muscle memory as well too. So I feel like it's like an unknown skill I had figured out basically. So yeah. Who is someone special in your life that might not know how special they are in your life? I would say my daughter. So that's point blank simple as that. Yeah. What's your biggest, let me check the camera, make sure it's still recording. Okay. What's your biggest pet peeve about other people? I would say I don't like it if someone tries to like publicly embarrass someone or me, just because for their own demise, if that makes sense. I don't like that. I feel like it's just such a low blow. Like, you don't have to like someone, but I just don't like when somebody tries to publicly put something into like display, because that's even worse. Like, you'd rather, if that makes sense, you know, like I just don't like that. I also don't like I don't like fake people in a sense, because it's like I don't like it when people, like, let's say they'll say something behind closed doors, but then when they get up in like the setting of the incident, it's like a completely different thing, if that makes sense. Like, almost a sense of fakeness. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna just keep it simple and straight to that. What is your biggest pet peeve about yourself? Okay, there'll be times where I can be overly emotional, and like I'll get into like a slump of where I do not feel like. That's what happened recently on my YouTube videos. I get into like a slump where I don't want to like record or do certain things that I have my plans to do, or I don't like sometimes that I'm trying to get out of a mode of procrastination, trying to be more into, especially even at times where I'm trying to be more into getting things done, but I'm trying to find my best way to balance that with having a daughter at the same time. And I feel like that's like the key thing that I'm learning, like what works best for me, so that I can get things done, but also don't feel overdrained or just this and that. And just like being able to take time for myself and rest, like balancing the whole thing out. But at times I don't like when times I can procrastinate or get distracted, basically. Do you have a sweet tooth or a salty tooth? It really depends. I like salty mainly, but I do like Baskin Robbins. I like VR ice cream. I recently started liking strawberry ice cream. I didn't like strawberry ice cream like that before when I was younger. Not too much strawberry flavored anything. Because I remember in school when they used to have the little strawberry milk. And I still didn't like milk in school anyways. I never understood why they never just gave us water too, or the optional water. But I never liked too much strawberry flavor, like stuff like that. Like, but I just recently started liking strawberry ice cream, if that makes sense. And I always like salty stuff. I like pickles. I be liking Chex Mix. I recently started, well, I can't say recently because I did already like Chex Mix like that, but I recently started eating it more. I always like salty chips and stuff, but I guess mainly I would say probably salty more than sweet, because it really depends probably on my mood. What's your favorite meal now? I'm trying to get into a mode where I don't eat like too much meat, and I'm trying to find like alternatives to not eating meat. Kind of going back to my vegan diet, and just moving forward from there. But I do like catfish. I mean, I say catfish wrong. Catfish not. Well, I can say catfish, but I do like fish, specifically whitefish. I used to work when my first job was Captain D's, and I didn't really like eat fish and stuff like that until I worked at Captain D's, and I started trying different varieties of food because I would smell it, because I was a cashier, so I would work the drive-through and I worked the front, and so there'd be times where I smell it and I want like the food basically to try. Like I tried okra for the first time there, and I love okra, fried okra specifically. But I love okra even not fried, but it made me love okra because I didn't even know what okra was until I started working there. At that time, before I started working there, I really didn't try like a lot of varieties of food. I was very plain with a lot of things I tried, but I feel like variety does add flavor and adds different things now, you know. But around that time I was like 16, so yes, one of my favorite foods I was gonna say was like fried fish, basically. One of my favorite meals. I guess that's be a southern thing for me, but yeah. And I do like, if I say vegan meals, I liked roast beef before I was becoming vegan, so I made like an alternative around last year, and I'm gonna try to keep remaking it to kind of do better, because I feel like I could have made it better last time, but it was still good. I made like jackfruit roast beef, and I kind of like added the carrots, potatoes, and all the stuff inside, and I feel like I would make that again, of course. But that's one of my favorites. I also like fried mushrooms too as well. So how often do you speak what's going on in your mind? Not very often. Most of the time you see me like talking on camera, I speak the most, I guess you can say, unless yeah, for the most part I speak the most on camera. If I do like have been speaking lately, because it's just really just been me and my daughter, and I've just been working, and I have a lot of things I've been trying to be focused on, so I mainly, I guess, speak the most, either to myself in my head or on camera, or to my daughter. What were you like as a kid? I was a bit silly as a kid, I can say. Silly. I was more playful. I liked to play a lot. I wanted to go outside. I liked playing with my dolls. I was also very big on school. I think then as a kid I had wanted to be a teacher maybe, but at times, but of course, you know, as a kid you want to be a lot of things, well, at least for me. But trying to think, most part I was very silly, maybe more goofier. I'm like at times a little bit more extroverted, I can say, as a kid. And I was sensitive then just as much as I'm sensitive now. What were you like as a teenager? I don't know. When you think of teenager, I guess you just think of awkwardness. I don't know. I'd probably say middle school awkwardness. I don't know. I was, I don't know. I mean, I'm just now going into adulthood, so I was just like, you know, still a teenager. So that's kind of maybe I'll probably answer this question a little better later on. But I don't know. I can't think about it right now. Let's see. What are things you love to smell? I love the smell of cinnamon. Specifically, I make cinnamon mouthwash with cloves, and it's really good for your gums and teeth, especially if you was having like a toothache. That's a really good remedy. And it saves money too, because you can reuse, like you can get a thing of like cloves and a thing of cinnamon sticks, and just like either heat it up on the stove. You can get those at like Aldi's for like $1, so then you can reuse it and make a whole mason jar of your mouthwash versus constantly buying mouthwash at the store. So it's a way to make your own, for one, and save money. And two, I think it's more natural, and it slick almost tastes better. It smells good when I make it, and yeah. I also like the smell of rosemary. Rosemary reminded me of my childhood. I like the smell of that. When I smell it, I think about my childhood every time. I do like really sweet smells, like Baskin Robbins. I'm talking about BR again. We was talking about this the other day, but I liked the smell of when you first walk into Baskin Robbins, or like the smell of cookies, like when you bake cookies. It smells really good too. What is one piece of advice you would give your younger self? I had wrote some stuff down. I said, stay creative, don't change for no one, and don't let other people's opinions shape how you view yourself, because they truly won't matter. A lot of people that I kind of maybe thought about then, or felt like things was serious more then, don't even like matter right now in my life. So I feel like that would be the biggest advice. Also, to stay creative, because your creative mindset is very much connected to your childlike mindset, which is, I feel like, is a form of our higher self spiritually. And so I feel like staying in a more of imaginative state, and a state where you can create off the head mostly, is a true gift basically in adulthood. Because systemically, a lot of times the way we get brought up from school and this and that, we kind of, our childhood like self kind of dims, because we're so much into the things that we kind of like we're kind of being purpose of like, we can't, trying to put us in a position where we need to grow up and be this and that, and be more serious, be more conformed. And I feel like showing more of yourself and things can be more suppressed. And I feel like when we show more of our childlike self and stay more in that creative mode, that's kind of us being successful more in our adulthood life, because we'll be doing the things that we actually love to do. So yes, basically like what I was saying was, like, when we are more in our creative mode into adulthood, I feel like that brings success within our life. And I feel like it's a huge part of, I believe, maybe our, I don't know if I say solar or is our sacral chakra. Either one, I believe. I feel like this one that's active, it aligns with us being into our creative mode, which lets us focus on more of the things that we want to do within adulthood versus working a more corporate job or something like that, basically, or something that we wouldn't have intended on. Doing the things that we actually love to do, to work and do it for like income and work, and like basically that, but we actually like what we want to do. And I feel like that relates to our creativity. So that's why I said I would tell my younger self to stay creative, if that makes sense, and focus mostly on my creativity. Hey, what is my greatest strength? I'm a huge believer in alchemy, and I feel like at times there can be where I can be in tough situations, but I will always continue to thrive and find a way to pull myself out of the situation or figure something out along the lines. And I feel like that also takes a lot. I feel like I have mental strength, and then a lot of times where I still try to pull myself together despite what I may be feeling internally, basically. So I feel like that would be my greatest strength. And then, okay, the last question. It says, what do people often misunderstand about you? I feel like at times, sometimes people can think that I might be like in terms book smart, which I feel like that's needed, but at times they feel like that they can try to, in a way, over manipulate my emotions emotionally, or might feel like I might be a little bit more childlike, but at times I can see through people's, I don't know if I would say misconceptions, but just people's just like plans to kind of at times try to, even now more consciously, I'm kind of like more mature. I'm kind of like, I can really see through just like how, I guess at times people can think I might be green, or maybe a little bit more softer, but when I kind of, I can see through the mess, if that makes sense. I can see through the trying to have like a misconception about me sometimes. I feel like sometimes I might overthink that too, because I might come with maybe my trust issues. About the kid noise, because my daughter's in here because she was fussing. But that's why this is my last question. But yes, at times I can just see through if you are not necessarily having my best intention in mind, or I feel like not having my best intention in mind, so I feel like to an extent that I need it to be, if that makes sense. And I feel like that goes in hand, which is kind of being there for yourself regardless of anything. So I don't necessarily worry or stress about that. But if that was to answer the question, that would be that. But mainly, if I feel like, honestly, spiritually, a point in my conscious journey that I feel like the more you focus on yourself, the more you obviously will always elevate, because you're mainly focusing on you, which makes me goals. Like me, I mainly want to focus on what's best for myself and for me and my daughter. Because if I focus on what's right for me, it will automatically transmute and be good for the both of us. So, yes. So yes, that's all I had wanted to say. I did these Q&A questions, kind of get to know a little bit more about me and get to know more about my channel. And I hope you guys stay tuned. Make sure to connect with me. My socials will be linked down below in the description. They'll be linked down below in the description. And with that being said, I say